There are days where I get out of bed and everything feels off. Feeling uncomfortable in the clothes I'm wearing, feeling like I can't keep anything in my head professors try to teach during lectures, feeling like I should have read more this year. I do be kinda lonely though. Still can't dunk this fucking ball. It's not that everything feels off. Feels like I'm making no progress. What does this leave me with? Am I just lazy and not determined enough? Am I damned to never achieve anything? That's what it feels like on those days. I have this conviction that the absence of progress automatically equals to failure. All these pictures in my head of athletes who spend the majority of their days in the gym, musicians who make 10 beats a day for a year, and influencers who post every day. That's all I can see. All I get to see. Catches my attention because of the seemingly desirable goal they achieve, without thinking about whether these are my goals as well. I assume the great success I take notice of was just as instantly achieved as it came to my attention. Why is that? First of all, because everything I see is from an outside point of view. I see athletes sweating in the gym, musicians surrounded by music gear, and influencers guiding my focus through a camera. In everyday life, I don't see myself from a third-person point of view. I don't see myself sitting in class, living out my hobbies, and having social interactions. I immediately experience these things. That makes a huge difference. I'm used to my heroes and idols being portrayed from a third-person view. Even if I take hundreds of selfies or look in the mirror for hours on end. In those situations, I'm more preoccupied with how I look, what could be improved upon, or what impression I might make on others. When I'm truly focused on something, I don't have the capacity to get the third-person view, because I'm truly invested, even though I might look just as badass as the people I look up to. Secondly, everything I see is condensed. Not just by staged pictures and edited videos, but by my attention. For example, when I meet a friend I rarely see. They look great, they're grinning, they seem to have lost some weight, and they are in a relationship. Afterwards, I remember all these things that stood out to me, and I save that image in my head. It's great for differentiating between individuals and categorizing them internally, but I also use these images to compare them with my everyday life. I give this mental snapshot as much attention as my life that I constantly experience, comparing a 10-minute snapshot to every moment of my life. That's 10 minutes versus 1,440 minutes each day. That's what feeds my frustration. But clearly spelling it out this way made me realize something. Not experiencing tangible progress isn't a sign of not making progress, but of not having the right perspective to assess the progress you're making. Using this change of perspective, looking at the opening statements, a different picture emerges. A couple of years ago, I didn't even care what clothes I was wearing. I decided to study law, and I'm in my third year with my grades improving. I rediscovered my love for reading and practice it every day. I know what I want from romantic relationships by choosing to be alone. I went from not seriously thinking about dunking to practicing the technique almost every day. What also works in conjunction with change of perspective is finding a realistic and helpful standard. Rather than asking myself, how close am I to greatness? Does this mean something to anyone? Will I be great? Which are largely undefined standards that are hard to assess objectively. I should rather ask myself, what's my disposition? How much did I achieve until now? Am I better than I was yesterday, a week ago, or a year ago? Now things don't seem so awful as my hurt ego made them seem to be in the first place. But if perspective is the answer to being content, then why do I still feel frustrated? Well, I believe that everything in life has an opposite. Snow wouldn't be something special without its absence the rest of the year. Love would not be as magical if it was simple. Success would have no value without the possibility of failure. Just like that, frustration is part of a long-term process. Challenges would lose their inherent characteristic if they were easy. Frustration is even needed to accomplish something because it shows me that I still care. It's the flip side of motivation and unavoidable. But it doesn't mean I can't minimize the risk of it impacting my actions in achieving what I want to achieve. Feeling frustrated is normal, but not necessarily bad, as it can put your motivated days into perspective and show your emotional investment. Sometimes it feels like I'm stuck at a plateau, and that's okay. It's fine to want to crawl back into bed, because it leads to a new point to start from, a whole new day of unused potential.